These are crawfish traps. Genuine American crawfish traps that I ordered all the way from Louisiana. And they also work on yabbies. And today I'm going to use them to catch yabbies. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. I've kind of got my camera just balancing on the end of my car here this morning. It's only about 20 past 6. I've come out really early because the forecast for today is strong wind. So I'm coming out now to try and catch some yabbies before it gets too windy. Now, let me show you these. This is a crawfish trap. I ordered it from America. I love them. I can carry 5 of them in one hand. In previous videos, people have told me they don't like these, they look useless, they're too small, blah, blah, blah. And that's okay, they're allowed to have their opinion. They are super duper convenient. While they might be not as big, not as deep, and you might lose a few more yabbies with these, unlike normal hoop nets or drop nets, you can put 5 of these in your backpack. You can't do that with other nets. So they're smaller and more convenient, but yes, you do lose a few more than normal. But you still catch more with these than you do with the old meat and string technique, which is a lot of fun. Right, let me show you how to use these nets. Right, I'm just making sure I'm in frame. Right, let's just get one. I've got it wrapped up around itself. Unwrap it. There'll be a little bit of a process, but I've got to work out which arm goes where because they'll be crossed over and tangled. Looks like that one goes that way. I reckon that's about it. That one goes that way. That one goes that way. There we go. And there it is. There's my crawfish net. Now I'll grab my camera off here. So basically, I've got 4 of them. And what I do, I sit them in the water. There's bait in the bottom, so when there's a bit of weight in the bottom, the bottom collapses. At the moment it's sitting quite flat because there's no weight in the bottom, but once I put a chicken drumstick in the bottom, and I'll show you that when I set them, that'll collapse right down in the bottom. So just like a normal drop net, they sit nice and flat, and then the yabbies walk in, then I come along with my hook, which is over here. I come along with my hook, I put the hook under, I lift it up, the bottom caves in under the weight of the bait, and the yabbies get trapped in the middle. Yes, there's always going to be 1 or 2 making their way into the net, which will flick back out. Usually you'll get them the next soak anyway. But anyway, let's get these. I've brought 5 of these with me today. Let's bait them up with chicken drumsticks and get them in that dam there. Right, there's my 5 nets. All baited up. Now when I go to check them, I put the hook up and see how they sag in the middle. That traps the yabbies in the middle. Right, let's go put them in. Now you haven't seen this dam in any of my videos before, it's a new one. But I know there's yabbies here because I came out here doing a little bit of reconnaissance the other day and I wasn't expecting to catch much, and I caught quite a few, and some of them were quite large. You haven't seen that video yet because I've put that in my From the Vault series for next winter. Right, how deep's that there? I reckon that's deep enough, but I'll go out a bit further. So the very first episode of my From the Vault series videos next winter is a reconnaissance mission in this dam, and I can tell you now I've done very, very well. I caught probably 30 or 40 yabbies, and at least 12 or 15 of them were really large, big eaters, big beauties. Number 3. One thing you've got to be careful of, if it's too deep, you'll lose the net because there's no cord on it. Gee, this bank's slippery. I've got to be so careful I don't end up sliding into the dam. I probably should have gumboots on for this. It's very slippery, and I just don't know whether I can get out far enough in my normal boots. Oh yeah, that'll do. Righto, all 5 nets are in. I'll give them about 15 minutes and then I'll come and check them like David Beckham. Right, it's been 15 minutes exactly. Let's see how we go. These nets don't need as long to catch yabbies as what other nets do, like open top lift nets. because they're much easier for the yabbies to get in. They're also much easier for the yabbies to get out. From here I'll be able to work out how long I need to check the nets for. If I haven't got any after 15 minutes, next time I'll give them longer. If there's heaps, then that'll mean it's been long enough. There's one little one. No, I want to feed. I'm not after little ones. Well, I'm on the board. Oops. I'm on the board. Oh, there he goes. I'm on the board, but he's a little bit smaller than I would like. I want some big uns. Just reach this net. Ugh. Oh yes, 2 good ones. You beauty. That's what I came for. They're not huge, but they're certainly big enough to take home and cook. I'm not filming a catch and cook today. I'm just filming the catch. And that one's, yeah, he'll do. But hopefully later on I can throw him back that size. Yeah, you ripper. You beauty. Looks like 15 minutes is long enough. Right, so far I've checked 2 nets and caught 3 yabbies. Off to a flying start. Now it's 3 from 3, because that one had nothing in it. Come on, net number 4, and 2, but they're a bit small. I'll throw these 2 back. Very muddy. I'd say they've just come out of the mud. How did you get? I'll just tip yours out. So what's that? 5 from 4 nets. The yabby to net ratio is good. I've caught more yabbies than I've checked nets. I've got 2 in the bucket. Can I build on that? And 1 little one. He's going to get through the net, is he? Not quite small enough to get through the net. Oh, nearly got my finger. Big enough to hurt if he nips me on the finger. Okay, mate. Right. So what do I take? 5 nets. I think I got 7. 1, 2, 3, and none. 4. I've lost count already. How's that? Very first check of the nets, and I've already lost count. Anyway, I've kept 2. If I can just get a dozen or so big ones, I'll be happy with that. Any more, then that's even better. Right, it's been 15 minutes since I checked them last. Let's check them again. And I've got a nice one, he'll do. He's not a monster, but he's big enough. Remember, if I get a few big ones, big monsters, I can always grade these later and throw a lot back. This is the net that had the 2 big ones in it before, and it's got 1 in it now, but he's not quite big enough. I'm pretty sure I threw one back just like this in the last check. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Right on net number 3. 1 real little one, little bait size yabby, and 1 that's just a little bit too small. You can go back. This one would be good on a yellow belly hook or a redfin hook. There's a good variety in this dam. I was out doing a bit of reconnaissance last week and I found this spot and I thought I'll try here, and I've done exceptionally well. And I was quite surprised, being that it's so early in the season. And as I said earlier, you'll see that video next year. I've put it aside to share in my From the Vault series next winter. Right, number 4. Yes, beauty, a big one. I was just thinking a minute ago, I'm due for a big one. And there's 3 in there. There's this big kahuna. I haven't got very big nippers on him though. But he's got a nice big fat tail. A dozen of them would be alright, and I've got 3. And these ones are like twins. Now, well, I'm certainly getting a few on this cool spring morning. Last net, any big ones? And 1, 2, 3, 4 small ones. 2 have already got through the mesh. 3, 4. Well, I only kept one that time, but that's okay, I kept one. When I came out here and on my recce mission last week, I threw them all back. I didn't keep any. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't expecting to catch any. And I must have caught 15 or more really big ones, so I know they're in here. Whenever any of my yabbying videos start getting views from America, the first question that I usually get is, what's a yabby? Or what on earth is a yabby? This is a yabby. So if you're watching from America, a yabby is the Australian version of your crawfish. Of course, there's going to be a lot of differences because they are different species and they're probably a different genus. But they're just a small shellfish. They're quite a bit bigger than your crawfish, but they're not as big as our big freshwater crayfish, our Murray crayfish that we get here in my area. They're much bigger, they're spikier. Murray crayfish need really good quality water with lots of oxygen, and they're found in rivers and creeks. You never find them in these dams where the water's stale and stagnant. Yabbies can live in both stale, stagnant water like this and also in really fresh, clear flowing water. And generally speaking, I find that they tend to do better in these really feral dams with algae and stuff on them. Dirty water, algae, low oxygen, they seem to grow bigger. I never really get big yabbies out of the river where I get crayfish. But anyway, if you're watching from America and you're wondering what on earth is a yabby, that's a yabby. They live in these dirty dams. When the water dries up, they go underground and they tunnel into the mud, and they can go down as deep as 5 metres. As long as they can keep their gills wet, they can survive out of the water. And then when the water returns and the rain returns, they come back out and they breed and they flourish. They go underground to survive droughts and dry periods, then they flourish during wet periods. And they taste amazing. Righto, third check. Just cautiously making my way down here because it's so slippery. Come on, big yabbies. Big ones. Nah, 2 little ones. I'm going to put him in. He's a medium. He's a muddy yabby. It's very early in the season, and maybe the smell of this chicken might be what's luring them out of the mud, perhaps. I've got 4 in the bucket. I want a dozen. A dozen will give me a nice yabby sandwich. Righto, net number 2, and big ones, huge ones, yes, and he was on the edge of the net. The biggest one today, beauty. There's 4 in there. Whoa, look at him bending his claws right back. 1, 2, 3, and the first really big one of the day. I've got a couple of nice ones, but this is the biggest one so far. Awesome. So we've got 5 in the bucket now. I'm slowly getting a few. I'm starting to smell that yabby sandwich. That one was right on the edge of the net. He could have fallen off, but he didn't. I haven't lost one yet. I usually do lose a few, but I haven't lost one yet. A lot of the time, if you lose yabbies in these nets, they generally come back the next time you check them. Have a look at that. Look at all the yabbies in that net. I'm going to get a photo of that. No monsters, but just heaps of them. Might see if I can find room in the bucket for a couple of them. One. 2. I want that one. 3. Let's let go. 4. 5. This little bait one here. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10 yabbies. 10 yabbies in one of those little crawfish traps. That's pretty impressive. But these things aren't that big. That's only from there to there. You'd be lucky to be 50 centimetres. Ten yabbies in one of these little crawfish nets. That's I nearly slipped in. That's impressive. If I slipped in, it wouldn't be impressive. It'd nearly spell the end of this mission, I reckon. Righto, any monsters? No, but there's a lot in there. Gee, I'm catching a lot. Just not a lot of big ones. I'm starting to keep a couple of these medium ones now because they're plentiful. Those other ones can go back. I reckon I've got enough for a sandwich now, so I'll just only keep monsters. I'll only keep big ones. I might move this one when I check it because I'm going to end up with a wet foot. Oh yes! Beauty, look at them all. I can't believe how many I'm catching. There's one there. One. So slippery. 2, 3. Here's a nice one, he'll do. 4, 5, 6. Where's this one going? 7. There were 8 yabbies in that net. 10 in the other one, he's 18. I reckon I've probably caught 25 or more yabbies just in that check of the nets. Wow. I'll move this one down there a little bit. You can see my old footprints from when I had my, when I came over here for my reconnaissance mission last week. Right. Having a blast. Spot the odd one out. Well, I've got enough there for a yabby sandwich, so I'm happy. Time to try and get a few upgrades. I can't believe how many yabbies I'm catching. I think I've probably got 10 or so in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably got 10 or a dozen in there, but I must have thrown back 40 or more yabbies. I'm catching so many for the middle of September. That's pretty impressive. The size hasn't been as big as I would have liked. I know there are big ones in here. I'll check them another couple of times yet and just see if I can get some, see if I can get an upgrade, get some bigger ones. Well, here comes the wind that was forecasted, that they said we'd get. I don't know whether it's forecast or forecasted. Here comes the wind they said we'd get. Anyway, I'm going to check these nets twice more, 2 more rounds of the nets. I've already got enough for what I want. I'm just going for an upgrade. I want some bigger ones. Oh, and I've got them. Oh, and I've got them all at once. Look at that. Beauty. Yeah. I'm going to, if I can, take that out and get back here, boy. Finally hit the jackpot there. Get rid of it. Some of these smaller ones can go back in the dam. Right, so I've just thrown 3 of the smaller ones back and I'll replace them with 3 of these bigger ones. That one can go back. Right, you beauty. Right, I upgraded 3 of the small ones with 3 of the big ones, and now I've got a good feed of yabbies. Well, that was the best net so far. Now I can go in for its final soak. On net number 2, and oh, more big ones. You know what? I'm going to put this big one in the bucket, and those other ones can go. Oh, that's a nice one. No, I'll put 2 in. These ones can go back. That's a lovely yabby. Now I'm getting what I came for. Now the bucket's looking healthy. Right, going for your last soak. This is the net that had 10 yabbies in it last time. Look at them all now. One flicked out the side, I lost one. There's one nice one in there, but I've already got enough. He's not a monster, but he's big enough. Little ones. 5. I've lost count. I must have caught 60 or 70 yabbies. It's catching so many. It's crazy for this time of the year, this early in the season. This is the net that I moved last last round because it was just getting too muddy underfoot. Oh, it's only got one. He can go back. Right, leave me now for their final soak. Well, I have everything that I need in here. Next time I check the nets, I'm going to pull them out. If I get one or two more really big ones, I'll put the big ones in, but other than that, everything will just go back. If you look closely on there, you'll see a few white spots. They're like some kind of parasites. I forget the name of them, but they're really easy to clean off the yabbies. All you do is you soak them in salt water and those parasites just fall straight off. So I'm not filming a catch and cook this time. I'm going to take these home and cook them. And what I'll do, I'll put a few inches of water in my kitchen sink, throw the yabbies in, squirt a heap of salt over them. Those white parasites will just drop off. Then I can cook the yabbies and just flush all that crap down the sink. Anyway, I'll wait a quarter of an hour, then I'll go and check them for the last time. Righto, last check. Monsters only this time. I'm not keeping anything unless it's a monster. And I've caught two monsters. Look at them, they are huge yabbies. There's a couple of small ones under there as well. Gee whiz, I've really hit the jackpot here. They're as big as the drumstick. Have a look at the size of them monsters. Wow, these little ones can go back. I'll take the meat out, fold my net up, and head off. I started off just catching small ones, but the longer I stay here, the bigger they seem to be getting. Look at them all in there. There was one or two on the side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 in there. Oh, this has been an epic yabbying adventure. That is all get. See you later, mate. Righto, net number 3, and oh, look at that big one. Huge big one right on the edge. That's a good yabby. The little ones can go back in. He can go in the bucket. They're making their way back into the water, no worries. See what I'm doing here, as I check these nets, I'm just bringing them back over here next to the car and just laying them in the sun like that, just to dry them off a little bit so that they're not too wet when I fold them up. This is shaping up to be one of the more memorable yabbying experiences, I can tell you. Like little ones. Bigger ones seem to be up that end and the smaller ones down this end. Last net, and there's a black beetle in there, don't like that. And a couple of yabbies. I know there was one black beetle got off. Something else got off. Whether it was more black beetles or other yabbies, I'm not sure, and there were 2 in the net. The wind has arrived. Hopefully this footage isn't too shaky. Right, my nets are dry. All I've got to do is just fold the sides in like that. Sort of squeeze them closed. Wrap that around. That's packed up, ready to go next time. I'm not trying to sell you these nets. It might sound like I am. It's just that I liked them and I saw them in American crawfishing videos. I tracked them down and I've copped quite a bit of flack for them about how crap they are. And I actually really like them. I think they're great. I've got no reason to sell. Most people won't buy them anyway because you've got to order them from America and it costs a fortune to get them here. But I reckon they're terrific. Well folks, I have had an awesome morning. I got up early to beat the wind and it paid off. The wind's just arriving now. It's not even 9 o'clock in the morning and I've already caught stacks of yabbies of all sizes. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you all very much for watching.